back to my channel, everyone. I just wanted to stop by today and give you a quick update as to where we are in our homeschool journey. We are, I would say, 17 weeks in. So we are about 17 weeks in, maybe even 18 weeks into our homeschool for the 2018-2019 school year. And we have had a few struggles and areas of opportunity that we're going to go ahead and correct. And I just wanted to talk to you about those things today. And I also wanted to give you a little bit of motivation, because when you experience struggles or areas of opportunity within your homeschooling journey, may it be with your curriculum, may it be with the method of homeschooling that you decided to go with, or whatever the reason may be, I don't want you guys to be fearful or have any type of guilt in the process of determining if changes need to be made. If changes need to be made for the betterment of your homeschooling experience for yourself and or for your kiddos, please go ahead and do that. Assess where you are currently. If you need to jot any notes down for each one of your kiddos by curriculum, go ahead and do that, because if you have to make changes, it's best to go ahead and make those changes in the middle of the year so that you can start fresh in the new year, 2019 January, and you can breeze on through the rest of the school year. So for us, we are using Saxon Math 7.6. The program is going just fine for us. However, my son has been getting a lot of problems wrong, okay? And he's not getting the problems wrong because he doesn't comprehend or understand the concepts. And I know that because when I have him do corrections for any incorrect problems, he gets all of those problems correct 100% of the time. So I realized that his issue has nothing to do with comprehension. The work is not too hard. The work, in my opinion, where we are in the book, may be a little too easy, where he's not being challenged. But the reason why he's getting so many problems wrong, 8, 9, 10 problems, and I don't even assign him every single problem, guys. Saxon Math may give a total of 30 problems. He's getting between 18 to 22 problems to complete. We do math every day, by the way. So it's all about him not paying attention to detail. It's not about him, it's about him not writing out his work, okay, the steps in the process that he takes to find the answer. It's about him simply not paying enough attention to detail. He's not focusing on his assignment. So in order to correct that, I was thinking, okay, what can I do? I was like, well, he's going to get grounded because he should know better. He knows that he should double check his work. And it's a spirit of laziness that is being exposed at the moment. But then I said grounding him, okay, taking away his electronics, okay, taking away television, okay. Is that really going to fix the problem? Is that the root cause? And I realized it's not, because he can't get online, whether it be interest-led learning, educational screen time, or non-educational screen time, which is only on specific days, and he's limited to how much time he can stay on it anyway. He does those things later in the afternoon and the evening, so it has nothing to do with that. He's not rushing to get to those things because he doesn't use it until hours later. So I said, the problem is double checking. He's not double checking his work. He's not utilizing his math strategies that we have talked about. Okay. So I decided that he's going to basically do every problem twice. And the first time he is to do his problems like normal within his math notebook. And then he is to do the problems again, either finding a different method or strategy to solve that problem. For example, he can use inverse operation if he's working on, you know, subtraction, addition, multiplication, and things of that nature. Or he just may have to do the problem over again without looking at the first solution that he has, just to make sure the information matches. So once he does it twice, he has to look at those numbers and ensure that they match. If they don't match, he needs to look through the steps that he has taken, because he has to also write out the steps, the process that he had to take in order to solve the problem. He can't do mental math. I told him no more mental math. I need to see it on paper. You can't, just work it out in your mind or in your head. I need to see every single step on paper. So he needs to go through the page and figure out where in his process he went wrong, identify where he went wrong, and make the correction, because both the math notebook with your original answers and your scrap paper needs to be the same. The answers should be the same. And I told him a part of grading, or well, we don't grade, but because we don't provide letter grades or scores or tests or quizzes within our homeschool, because it's only in elementary school. But when I check his work, a part of me checking his work, I need to see not only the notebook in an organized fashion with his answers and the steps that he's taken, but I need to see the separate sheet of paper with the steps he's taken and the answers. And he's required to use grid paper for math moving forward to help it, look a little cleaner and help him stay organized throughout the math process. So we've started that since October. He wasn't happy in the beginning, but that's I told him that's not only a strategy, but it's also a consequence, because you were required to double check your work. I allowed you the freedom and flexibility to use any method you wanted to double check, but obviously you're not doing that. So since we've incorporated that in October, guys, complete 360. He has gone from 8 and 9 problems wrong, again, because he's not double checking, to 0 problems wrong. The most he's had thus far is 2. In some cases, he has had 3, but I let the 3 slide because it's such a big, dramatic difference. And he's excited too. So that's one of the changes that we've made for math. In terms of language arts, we are a lot ahead of our language arts curriculum. And that's because I've noticed that there is a lot of repetition in the curriculum. So although we use Shirley method, and we learn how to not diagram, but how to classify sentences and the sentence patterns. So sentence pattern number 1 is, I would say, oh my goodness, at least the first 10 chapters of the book. So once I realized that, like by chapter 3, we are still doing sentence pattern number 1, I said, okay, we're going to skip some chapters. Yeah, with every chapter they introduce a new grammar term and help you classify that grammar term. So may it be a noun, subject, noun, may it be a verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, prepositional phrases, direct, well, not direct object, that's sentence pattern number 3. But the whole point is there was a lot of repetition. So I skipped a few chapters, and I made sure we went over the concepts within those chapters, but I don't have to go and do all 5 lessons for every single chapter in order for my son to get the concept. So that's why we skipped around. So we're about 3 to 5 chapters ahead, where I wanted to be in accordance to my lesson plan. My lesson plan basically outlines what our year will look like in terms of the curriculum, where we should be at every point in time, and what chapter we should be on, and so forth. And according to the lesson planning document, when I say we're ahead, that's what I mean, we're ahead. And when I say if we're behind, that's what I'm talking about. I'm specifically talking about that document where it says we should be at any particular time and where we are currently. Also, hold on, guys. Also, let me see, that's language arts. So, oh yeah, something else that's a change within our homeschool. As you know, I am not a fan of a schedule. A schedule is basically performing different tasks or activities within a block of time on specified days. I'm not into that. I'm not that type of girl. But I realize that my son is that type of guy. So although a routine works well for me, I realize that he actually needs a schedule for his independent days. And I say that because on his independent days, he has the freedom and flexibility to complete his assignments whenever he wants throughout the day. He needs to manage his time properly in order to get it done. And I ask that he gets it done by 7 o'clock. He's not getting it done by 7 o'clock, guys. So when I'm, asking him at 5 o'clock Have you completed all your work? You know, where are we in the process of completion for each assignment? Did you look through your agenda to even determine what your assignments were for today? And did you start on any assignments that are upcoming? Did you check off anything? Is everything in the completed bin? Is our homeschool or learning center, which is the homeschool room, is it in an orderly fashion? He's like, oh, I don't know, let me check. And at 5:30, he's running to that homeschool room, and what is he doing? He's completing work at the last minute. And he's finding himself at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock finishing work. And I want to change that. He's not managing his work properly. And obviously I am giving him too much freedom and flexibility to do it. And he doesn't know how to do that yet. So what I decided to do, I told him, okay, all the work has to be done by 2 o'clock. That way he doesn't have to scramble so late at night to complete the work, because yes, he is going to complete the work. And if it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and he's not done yet, the expectation is for him to, stay up, and you're going to do it because you know better. We've had conversations about this, and you are not focused and paying attention on what's the most important thing to do for the day. So even 2 o'clock, guys, didn't work. Because I find myself at 2 o'clock saying, where are we? He's not done, and he's getting his work done at 11 o'clock in the morning. He's starting and he's not done by 2. He takes all these breaks. So obviously that wasn't working either. So I said, okay, here's my plan C. So plan C is basically giving him a schedule. So for now on his independent days, we're going to do something like this. 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. math. Your math lesson in Saxon Math, as an example. Take a 15-minute break. 10:15 to 11, work on corrections. Take a break, okay? 11:15 to 12 o'clock in the afternoon, complete, these 3 assignments or whatever. Then take a lunch. And then after lunch, check your agenda, make sure everything you were supposed to do has been completed, check everything off within your agenda, make any notes if you need to make any notes. If you forgot to do something, use that time, use the next 30 minutes to complete those things, and then you can do whatever you want. Then go do your interest-led, self-directed learning type of stuff for the rest of the day. So I figure if I give him that type of schedule where I am dictating what subjects or what assignments he's doing for a specified block of time between 9 a.m. and 12, take a lunch, come back 1 to 1:30, finish up. By 1:30, 1:45 the latest, he should be done with everything, and he will have the rest of the day to do all the self-led learning, all the self-directed learning and interest-led learning that is occupying all of his time. Okay, so I figure that'll probably be the best approach. So right now we're in the doctor's office for the kids' checkups, okay, or their physical appointment. And we were in science. We were also learning about fiber optics and how that's used in, or how that technology can be used in the medical field. So the doctor was looking through his ear, and we realized, oh my gosh, that's a fiber optic that's being used. So we were talking about how fiber optics are used by doctors to examine internal parts of the body to determine, what's going on. So a fiber optic with a light at the end can be, or light bulb or bulb at the end, can be used to see the esophagus, can be used to see through the ear, can be used to see up your nose, can be used to investigate what's taking place in your intestines or your stomach and things of that nature. So to see that lesson come to life in the doctor's office and that light bulb go off and the doctor allow him to examine my ear so he can, experience what that looks like, based on what we learned about, was fantastic. And what's also great is that when you teach them something in homeschool, and it comes to life through experience. So we learned about white light and the fact that white light includes the spectrum, colors of the spectrum, colors of the rainbow. So I'm going to insert a clip right here where we were in the bed one day and he noticed on the television that there was a rainbow or a spectrum of light. Or what is it called, dear? Prism? Or the prism was there. He said, "Oh my gosh, Mom, white light truly has a prism or the color of the rainbow." So I'm going to insert the pic right here.
Every single day, I'm gonna make